Time to review the Sandrock Custom. Hey everyone, it's been a long time coming and I know some of you have been waiting for this. It's now time to finally review the Robot Damashii Sandrock Custom. And I call this the Custom because, well, it's the second version in the Gundam Wing series that was used while they were up in space. This is towards the last, I don't know, 20 episodes or so. Anyways, without getting into too much details, it's the Sandrock Custom, not to be confused with the Sandrock Custom that we know from Endless Waltz. But anyways, very, very cool mobile suit, very, very cool figure. And so let's go ahead and get into the review starting with, we'll go with accessories first. First, the weapons. Of course, we're going to get a nice shield here. Very, very cool. Not too big and not too small right there. It has a nice little peg insert to put onto the Sandrock's forearm. It can turn around all sorts of ways, so it can go on the forearm long ways, or just go on there nice and centered on the forearm. You also get, of course, its memorable, iconic weapons, the Shatals. I think that's what they're called. Very, very cool and very iconic. I like the design of them. Now you actually get two sets of these. One are the inactive versions, and if you've seen the show, of course you know that they have a heat feature where they can turn red with, well, they can just turn red. It's supposed to mean that they're hot and can melt through anything. And here they are. Now they're quite bigger than the normal versions. About that much, and they're a nice little red translucent plastic with a little bit of sparkly glitter in there. I hope you can see that. Yeah, maybe you can see. Anyways, very, very cool. The last weapon, of course, is another iconic symbol for the Sandrock, the machine gun. Now, I always thought it was really, really odd that they would have a nice Uzi to go along with the Sandrock when this is a universe where mobile suits have buster cannons and rifles, beams, and all sorts of stuff. You can just go with a nice little Uzi, but it's very, very cool. If you had the MSIA version of the Sandrock, you know it was just one big piece of plastic. This is very, very different. First of all, there's nice paint apps on it. You got a nice green scope, and you got some silver on there. But the stock can also fold out, making it look even cooler. Very, very, very nice. For the hands, you're going to get 3 extra sets to go along with the figure, besides the closed fists that are already on there to begin with. The first being the open jazz hands, as I call them, for posing. You'll also get some machine gun holding hands. And some melee holding hands. So 4 sets all together. You'll also get this attachment piece for a Robot Damashii stand. Usually the thruster or the backpack isn't really an accessory, even though sometimes or most of the time it is detachable from the mobile suit itself. But this time it is with the Sandrock. Now, if you've seen the show, then you'll know that this combined with this and these can combine together to make one large weapon, some sort of crusher. But in any case, this does break apart. The thrusters, if I can figure it out. I remember doing it once. There it goes. Can pop out right there, and these ones can as well. Now, one thing to note is that the bottom thrusters on the backpack hide very, very, very well, I might add, a peg hole for a Robot Damashii display stand. So better done on this figure than the Ultron. As you can see right there, there's a peg on the shield that can insert onto the backpack itself. You can add the Shatals like you normally would. Now I think this was called the Gaia Crusher, or I can't remember, Gaia Crusher, I'm not sure. But in any case, it was a weapon featured on the series. I thought it was actually pretty unique, very, very different from what I've seen. Very, very brutal. It would crush mobile suits in half. and you kind of get that noise of the mobile suit crushing, kind of like if you were a kid and you ever chewed on rubber bands and you had that sound in your mouth from your teeth chewing on the rubber band. That's what the mobile suits sounded like. So very, very cool. I like it a lot. And here is the Crusher with the heat stalls on. And I just moved the Sandrock. So very cool and very, very lethal looking. Moving on to articulation, and there is quite a bit of it. Now let me just say that the Robot Damashii line has done an amazing job with this these Gundam Wing figures, and the Sandrock is just really exceptional. Takes advantage of what Damashii has learned over the years. So to begin with, of course, we get double joints in the elbows as always, and we can go for a bend about that much. The knees are also double jointed and can bend at the knees right about that much. So pretty good. Moving on, we're actually starting at the top. You get 2 points of articulation in the neck for the head. Now, the head connecting to the neck, and then the neck connecting to the body itself. It can move for a nice range of motion. It can go 360, but I'm not going to do that because I just don't want to. You can turn at the shoulder completely, 360, as well as the bicep right there, and you have a nice ball joint for the hands. The backpack on it, the thrusters don't move, but it can bend up about that much before it hits the head. It's connected on there through a peg, so nothing major. At the shoulders as well, they can bend forward about this much. So yeah, a lot of articulation there. The skirt armor, it's pretty much all separated except for the back skirt armor. That does not move. But as you can see right here, yeah, nice ball joints for the skirt armor. Very cool. And you already saw the knees, so now we can just move on to the feet themselves. Lots of articulation in there that I never noticed before, but you can move or bend the toes like so. And in the mid portion of the toe, you can actually move around like that. So very, very cool. And of course, the whole foot is connected to the leg on a ball joint. Yeah, so it can move up and down and all the way around. And the ankle skirt armor is on there with a hinge, so it can actually move up like so and then move back down. So lots of great articulation. Also the hip has some nice articulation itself. If I can move that armor up, I think you can see that. Yeah, can't really, but you can bend outward about that much. I never showed this part of the articulation, but you can bend the leg out about that much. So nice articulation on this figure. Now, with all that shown, it's time to take one final look at the figure head to toe, and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts on the Sandrock Custom. Here he is, the Sandrock Custom with everything on him. Very nice mobile suit. Lots of detail in the figure. A little bright because it's there's a lot of white on it, but very, very cool. I've shown you accessories, I've given you a tour through the articulation of this figure, and now it's time to just give you my final thoughts on this release, and they are all mostly positive, and I have to throw in a negative just to make it seem balanced, so I'll just get it out of the way right now. As for positives, or negatives on this figure, the only thing I can note out is that for some reason the Robot Damashii line has started for the Gundam Wing series to hide their Robot Damashii display stand attachment areas. It's on the backpack of the Sandrock for some reason. At the same time, they're giving us this attachment part right here. I don't like that. I'm just not into it myself. I rather just have it as a separate attachment piece accessory like so. But it's well hidden on the figure, so it's not too much of a problem. But again, it's a negatives, and you just have to have one negative to go along with all the positives that this figure is having. So to begin with, for the positives, let me just point out the articulation. It is amazing on this figure. Again, the Robot Damashii line is doing a great job with it. We've seen it in the Ultron, the Wing Zero, we've seen it in the Tall Geese. It's just overall becoming better and better. And this figure has a little bit of more articulation in the shoulders, where they're able to bend forward and allow us to do that move with the shatals in its hands, you know, that it's doing a cross-cutting motion. Anyways, another thing is the accessories. You get a lot of great accessories, including these active heat shatals. Now, in the show, you saw them. They could cut through anything, and it's really cool that you can display the figure as it's doing that. The other thing is the machine gun. Very, very cool. It's nice. It's painted. It's a vast improvement over the MSIA machine gun that we got as kids. The last thing is that it just shows that Bandai is really doing a good job with these figures, and it just makes me want more. And that's, in general, that's what the company should be doing. It should be making good figures that make us collectors want more. And so I can't wait for Death Scythe Hell, the Heavy Arms Custom, which it will probably be called, the Shenlong I hope comes out, and then overall I hope that they finish off the Endless Waltz line. So we get the Death Scythe Hell Kai and the Sandrock Kai and all that stuff. So kudos to Bandai, you know, great job for doing an awesome awesome job on this figure. Not only that, the paint jobs are just getting really, really good. There's hardly any mess up on this figure itself. Oops. And I say hardly just because the little green emerald, for some reason, now things can be perfect, but the green emerald is a little muddled, like someone painted it and then accidentally brushed it with their finger, so the paint is kind of missing a little bit from the emerald. That's not a major problem for me because I understand nothing's perfect, but I checked the other two figures I got for the Sandrock and they don't have that at all. So 1 out of 3 isn't bad. So overall, if you're a Gundam Wing fan, just get this figure. It's great. You're going to want to get all 5 figures to begin with and complete that whole collection, have all 5 figures stand next to each other, and so I cannot wait to do that. So all in all, get this figure. It's great. And it's pretty cheap right now, so you might as well do it before it racks up in price. So anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the review. Please hit subscribe if you want, and be sure to comment, like or dislike, do whatever you want. And most importantly, be sure to keep watching because I have a lot, and I mean a lot, of great reviews coming up. So again, take care, you guys, and thanks for watching.